Hello everyone, this is CoolPro195 and welcome to part 24 of Let's Play Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy for the PlayStation 4, and this is the fifth and final part of the Coco Bandicoot playthrough for Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back within Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy. And not only that, but this is the final part where I play Crash 2 within this AAA Remaster Trilogy entirely, and this is the part where we tackle the fifth and final warp room as Coco Bandicoot. And for the gameplay portion at least, it's gonna be a relatively short part, considering Coco will only be able to access 3 levels within this warp room. And yeah, it's like a 2-level skip pattern, per se. So yeah, but considering she can only play platforming levels in Crash 1 and 2, would only be able to play 3 levels in the warp room. Hence, the jetpack levels are only accessible if you play as Crash Bandicoot and not Coco Bandicoot. But anyways, let's jump right into level 21, piston it away for the Coco Bandicoot playthrough. Now that's a really cool effect right there that they've implemented whenever you enter the level through like the Warp Room 5 teleportation room, as it were, or teleportation pod, however the fuck you want to call it. But yeah, and as usual I've got to take precaution in these levels, these space levels in particular, as they were dreadful to do for the time trials. And yeah, it's more intensive of the time trials, as you know, you get to know the mechanics even more. But yeah, now as Coco, especially even playing casually, you really gotta watch out. Whoa, I see what happened there. Like, as soon as I landed, I spun on top of that bouncy crate, and then it didn't even activate as if it was, well, the collision between Coco and the box didn't activate as if it was bouncing at the time. Okay, I took a bit of precaution there. But yeah, it didn't activate as if it was bouncing at that time because, you know, the spinning kind of cancelled that out, as it tends to do whenever you land on bouncy crates. And well, yeah, that was a really close call with that robot crab there. And yeah, this level does have a variation of, you know, robot crabs. You could say they are all robot crabs, considering, you know, since a robot can have many variations, robots go through like variations of, you know, design revisions. It's kind of like common practice for engineers or something. Although I'm not 100% on that, and yes, I will be going to this death path, as you see right behind Coco. That was really close. Okay, that little drop there. Whoa, okay, yeah, I know I could have spun. I didn't see that coming, but, you know. Anyways, now we're in the bonus round. But yeah, I will be revisiting everything as mentioned before, as, you know, I'm retracing my steps as to how I completed Crash Bandicoot 2 100% originally. So yeah. And yeah, that was very wise of me not to, you know, use that as a springboard in order to get onto that pillar there, because that would have costed me, well, it wouldn't have costed me much anyway, considering, well, actually it wouldn't have costed me anything considering this is a bonus round. Yeah, I had to like pace that one out as well. Not gonna lie, I had to pace that out, otherwise, you know, who knows, even in this AAA remaster, who fucking knows whenever those nitro crates are gonna jump. Like, seriously, they jump at the most inconvenient times sometimes. You don't even know. You can't even predict when they're gonna, you know, hop. But yeah, anyways, that's that. And yeah, Wumpa Fruit isn't much of a, you know, a necessity, since obviously the completion is smashing all the crates. And yes, I know I have all the collectibles already. But you know, this is a casual playthrough and I'm playing how I like to play it, so yeah. Yeah, skipped all those like shrink ray pads right there. And these guys are piss easy to tackle. Whoa, and that was really close there. Like, for a moment there it looks like I was stuck there, but you know. And yeah, I have 99 lives, whoa. It'd be sick to glitch over 100 like you could do in Crash 1, but you can't. But yes, I usually would exit the level through here, but I'm not gonna. But I figured I'd like, you know, showcase this path anyway to cover all the ground. Hence it's like how I like to do these playthroughs. But yeah, even though it's not necessary, whoa. Yeah, I'm just being very cautious with this playthrough specifically. Well, actually no, I'm being cautious with the Let's Play entirely, but for the Coco playthroughs, I'm just being even more cautious, considering her model was more rushed than Crash was. What the fuck? Why didn't this spin? Like, that was close. I was gonna say, why didn't the spin actually cancel out, like, the attack, like, the fucking collision attack that, you know, the shrink ray like gives you. But yeah, made it to the death path safely without dying, and yes, you have to go through the level without dying. Well, play up to the death path without dying in order to actually, you know, be able to access the death path. Which is, you know, like a common rule in the Crash Bandicoot game. Well, for those professionals anyway as well. And I'm not gonna lie, the platforming is like so intense. Like, it's questionable, like, fuck. Okay, whoa. Alright, so it doesn't matter that I died here, but, you know. I'm just gonna go and smash that crate since, you know. I'll try and keep this Aku Aku, but can't make any promises. Whoa, it turned into a pity checkpoint, how about that? Well, that just makes the journey back even harder. Well, not necessarily harder, just longer. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Okay, bitch didn't get me that time. But yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, the platforming is actually very questionable in this AAA remaster. Although there's nothing wrong with the original design, it's just the physics that's the problem, especially with the Coco Bandicoot model, considering it's rushed. The pill-shaped hitboxes and everything, to like, you know, the delayed hitboxes of the robot crabs, you know. That's what really fucks you over, whenever, you know, you're trying to land on them when they're up. As you probably just seen in that example earlier. Well, now that I have an Aku Aku mask, it won't be much of a problem for me. But ones that are levitating, it's certainly gonna be an issue like this. Yeah, word of advice, don't land on top of them. Well, land on top of them, but don't like jump as soon as they start to put their legs down, because the hitbox is delayed and you will get electrocuted. Man, the platforming, I mean, the physics are so questionable in the AAA Remastered Trilogy in order to give people, or certain people, the mindset to make a review of this called, well, with the title, I've never been so scared to play a Crash Bandicoot game, or I've never been so confused to play a Crash Bandicoot game for that matter. It's that fucked up. But anyways, now that's officially level 21, piston it away, tackled, or complete, as Coco. And yeah, pissing it away is a piss take of a level, but it went quite smooth for this run, I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, level 22 Rocket is obviously a level we cannot access as Coco Bandicoot, as you're about to see. So yeah, now that we've pretty much covered that, the next level that we'll actually be playing in the Coco Bandicoot playthrough is level 23 Night Fight for the Coco Bandicoot playthrough. Well, that was a really sick effect, just entering the level. Cause like, this is the only Firefly level in this warp room. Although there are 2 Firefly levels in this warp room. This is like, the only one that's, you know, the main level. Well, a main level that's canon, anyways. And no, people will not be seeing fake Crash in this. Although, what would be cool is that it would be really sick if we got like, you know, a fake Crash DLC. As in like, and I'm not even talking about an Easter egg either, I'm actually talking about fake Crash as an actual playable character. It'd be really cool as like a bonus unlockable. And even potentially we could get like a fake Coco unlockable character. Well, not unlockable, but a DLC character as well, which would be another great addition. It will add even more replay value to the game. Well, to the AAA Remastered Trilogy, technically speaking. But yeah. Wow, I'm actually covering this death path really well, surprisingly. Considering, you know, the platforming's a bitch sometimes with these physics. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go back, because I'm gonna cover the main level too. But yeah, that's just how it is, you know. Fuck, okay, yeah, I slid right into that one. But yeah, it'd be really sick if we could actually have fake Crash, and potentially they could make a new character. Like a fake Coco revision, potentially. Which would be really sick, in my opinion, personally. And it would also, like, even out the amount of characters you can play as. You know, it would have, like, a 2x2 Crash to Coco ratio, per se. Well, yeah. It doesn't surprise... Yeah, that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, considering that was dark as fuck there. You couldn't even see where you were going. But yeah. But it's a really interesting concept, and it'd be nice to know what you guys would also think of this idea that I've just come up with. Whoa, okay, yeah, that was risky. But yeah, it'd be interesting what you lot out there in the comment section, what you viewers would like, whether you lot would agree with like the idea that I have, or whether you think differently. But you know, everyone has different opinions, more power to you if you have a different opinion. But anyways, going into the bonus round. But other games have done like... But I don't see how it's not possible to do. And yeah, that was a fault on my end, just there, considering, you know, I just like to collect everything, but sometimes that's just not the way. Well, Wumpa Fruit doesn't even matter, so like, it is the way, but you get the picture. Whoa. Okay, yeah, considering I didn't slide jump and I landed on the edge, that was risky as fuck. Although clever me for going over here. Yeah, it is possible, like, for them to make other characters, and plus, other companies have done that for other games. Like, as in, implementing new characters, or bonus characters as DLC, on top of the base product itself. So I really don't see how, like, it would be impossible for Vicarious Visions to even implement such a thing. But yeah, The speeches really do help. Apologies for the capture card being a piss take with that card there, but anyways, as I was saying, yeah, all in all, just to finalize what I was saying, it's not impossible for any company to do. Vicarious Visions could easily do it, but it's not 100% up to them. It's down to Vicarious Visions. I mean, it's down to Activision, the publishers, because they are the ones who own the rights to the franchise, so therefore, they have a control over what happens within the game's development. Because after all, the developers do is work for the publishers, so... and that's how it's always been, so... yeah, it's kind of how the practice works there. But yeah, that's level 23 complete, fairly quickly, I must say. Okay, now that we've beaten level 23 Night Fight, we can't enter level 24 Pack Attack, which is also a jetpack level, as you're about to see. So yeah, it's established that the jetpack levels are also inaccessible for Coco Bandicoot, which means we've only got one more level left to tackle in the 5th and final warp room, and that's level 25 Spaced Out, another space platforming level. But yeah, that effect still persists on Coco's hair, and it really does bring more to the table, like Coco's assets. But yeah, as I was talking about earlier, the decisions, they're all the way down to Activision, the publishers, and that's how it is. But yeah, over here I'll be going to, wow, pity checkpoint, really? I've only just entered the level, I haven't even died once. I haven't even died once in a fucking level, yet it's already given me a checkpoint. A pity checkpoint. Man, all these infinite lives. Man, the potential of going over 100 lives, man. Okay, yeah, I'm really gonna have to time this perfectly, because you cannot trust the robot crab's hitbox shit. And yes, you can't trust the perception either, and yeah, I know the pity checkpoint could have potentially helped, but I don't know, I went out on a limb there. And yeah, those platforms are really not very trustworthy, for that matter either. But as I was saying, yeah, it's... the developers obviously can only do what they say, otherwise if it was their way they obviously could have done so much better, especially since Vicarious Visions themselves have stated that they are actual dedicated fans to Crash Bandicoot. So yeah, basically like, if anything kind of ass backwards comes from Vicarious Visions, you know that has fucking Activision written all over it. Like, without a doubt. I mean, yeah, before, like, when I saw, you know, them respond to the fan feedback about, you know, all the game's broken physics, well, not certainly broken physics, but, like, unsuitable physics to the original, you know, design of all the levels. Like, at first, like, it was easy to assume that, you know, Vicarious Visions, like, were piss easily, well, would not want to, like, didn't really care, but really, no, that's not the case. I really reckon that wasn't the case, because, you know, obviously, Activision must have put them under a lot of pressure. Okay, yeah, I've made a pitfall for myself. Whoa, and I stand corrected. See, cause I know these games inside tricks. I know how to get myself out of a fucked up situation. Such as that. But yeah. Now that it makes sense, it makes even more sense how they responded with Deal With It towards the fan feedback. Like, it makes sense. Like, it makes more sense now more than ever. To say the least. And yeah, I had to time that perfectly. And I gotta say, this is a fairly easy, death path, especially one that requires all the levels, well, all the game's coloured gems. And what you know, we're at the home stretch of the death path. And yeah, here's where we would usually get the death path gem. And I could exit through here if I wanted to, but I'm gonna commit suicide and play through the rest of the level properly, because that's just how I play. Time to commit suicide. Fuck this shit, I'm not! Alright, so back to the main level, and yes, just losing one life isn't very costly for me personally, especially since, I'm a professional at the originals and the AAA remasters. I know how the game works. Although playing the game like this is actually much more calm as opposed to playing it within the time trials, actually trying to go for that platinum relic. Fuck. You saw that shit, right? I wasn't even underneath that pillar. I got squashed for no reason whatsoever. Man, I even had the cycles timed right and everything. And yeah, to piss take how, like, they removed the life from up there like it was in the original. It actually does kill more of the purpose, and yeah, that really shouldn't happen. But yeah, that actually does kill the purpose of jumping up there. There I go again, trying to get all the Wumpa through, fucking cunt. Anyways. Whoa, okay. Fucking Nitro fucking jumped whenever I fucking jumped. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. In level 21. Whoa, yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier as well. The fucking electrocution hitboxes from the robot crabs. Like, in the original that never would have happened. And whoa. Did I literally just walk over that Nitro crate? Like, as it bounced? Because that shit is fucking intense. Well, and yeah, I'm playing a dangerous game here, trying to get all these Wumpa fruits, without a doubt. You can just see. Yeah, no, that son of a bitch to that Nitro crate. Yeah, fuck that. But yeah, it's never been so intense. Perhaps if I was to make a review of this game, I'd most probably title the review, "This Crash Bandicoot game has never been so intense," or "I've never played such an intense Crash Bandicoot game in my entire life," or something like, "I never would have played such an intense, reconstruction of my childhood." That is actually a much better title. A fucking intense reconstruction of my childhood. In its entirety. Well, not exactly in its entirety, because obviously I played other games too. But Crash Bandicoot was obviously a big part of it as well. Okay, yeah. I'm really pacing this one out. Hey, wait, I didn't have to go back to get something else, did I? Because I'm genuinely confused. I'm actually trying to remember. Okay, yeah, I took a bullet there, not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm just gonna check back just in case. Oh yeah, no, I don't have to backtrack. Well, now that I've gotten rid of those Nitro crates up there, my journey forwards is certainly gonna be much easier now. But yeah. That's just the way it is, Another piss easy bonus round knockdown. Yeah, I figured I'd just let Coco do that dance fair as she finished like the warp room, because you know, you let them stay idle and they start doing the celebration dance. Yeah, skip that wall, that was close. Although, that bit of animation there, that does help. Wow, I was so close to that, I nearly died. Okay. Yeah, now it wants to fucking, you know, penetrate. Well, not penetrate, but actually, you know, distinguish the shrink ray. But yeah, this level is actually almost over now, so yeah, this actually has been a fairly quick part, I must say. It's certainly been much easier than when I was playing through it as Crash, but only because, you know, I've adapted to the AAA remasters as well, because, you know, starting off, it was a bitch. But yeah, that's this level officially complete. Alright, so now that's level 25 Spaced Out officially complete, which means now the Coco Bandicoot playthrough in its entirety is complete, and as a matter of fact, so is the Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back section of Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy, and the Crash 2 section entirely within this AAA remastered build. And yeah, I figured I'd just go back down to the starting point, just for the fun of it. Just to showcase how it is. I'm not gonna lie, it still looks sick the way the portal just, you know, well not the portal, but you know, the way, like, the color palette transitions through, like, the lighting effects of, you know, the tunnels that you take this platform up and down through. It's a really sick effect. But yeah, anyways, and yeah, I figured we might as well go down to the secret warp room, or the secret sixth warp room, however you want to call it, just for the last time, just for the fun of it. But of course the fireworks have gone because, you know, it's been some time since, you know, I've actually officially gotten all the platinum relics in Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back. And yeah, the lighting is awesome. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, you know, Vicarious Visions are actually dedicated workers to the Crash Bandicoot franchise, especially since their work closely resembles, even their past work on the GBA games closely resembles the original PlayStation 1 classics. As a matter of fact, they were so dedicated, they made a completely brand new level entirely, made completely from scratch, that they're going to include in the upcoming patch for Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy whenever all the multi-platform releases come out. And yeah, as for all the mods, I mean, as for, you know, fake Crash and potentially a fake Coco being DLC characters, yeah, it is possible to do, although I wouldn't be surprised if people start making mods, or whether at least one person makes a mod where you actually can play as fake Crash at the very least. But then again, it's not 100% as, you know, having it as an official product, because like then it adds even more replay value. But yeah, I can tell like a lot of people are gonna mod the living fuck out of the PC version, and it's gonna be so sick, the stuff that they're gonna do. Yeah, since this is the Coco Bandicoot playthrough, yeah, the models, as you walk past the portals, I don't know, I don't remember, or I don't 100% remember if I even mentioned this or not, but like, as you can see when you walk past the portals, her character glows even more, which is a really cool touch to the saturation on top of her color palette. they really outdone themselves, as a matter of fact. And yeah, I'll switch back to Crash as well, considering, you know, that's how we started as Crash. So we end off as Crash 2, which is cool. But yeah. But Crash 2, as a matter of fact, especially for Coco, they really brought out, you know, how great the model can actually look. In a way, it does make up for how rushed the model is. It makes her model look really nice. For Crash 2, I mean, Crash 1 does it as well, but it's even more noticeable in Crash 2. As you can tell, Crash 2 has much more rich environments. Like, Crash 2 has, like, much more, like, rich and grand environments in comparison to Crash 1, which explains why Coco's color model actually had more of an emphasis, like, on the players in Crash 2, like, on the color in Crash 2 as well. Especially for, like, you know, especially for all the new lighting effects that they've added in. They've only gone and made, like, you know, the environments look even better. I mean, originally they were better than in Crash 1 as well, but now they took it to the next level with a AAA remaster. I mean, I know it doesn't play exactly like the originals do, but it's still faithful to the original, which I honestly couldn't respect Vicarious Visions enough for AAA remastering this. And yeah, Crash 3 will obviously take it to the next level, especially with the new effects they have of this AAA remaster, So yeah, the AAA remaster can only get better the further you get into it, especially for this Let's Play entirely. Yeah, it just shows how dedicated Vicarious Visions are. It's just that they can't do it specifically because Activision have, you know, they have a contract. Like, they set deadlines, and Vicarious Visions have to work accordingly. Like, it's not in their control, it's in Activision's control. Which is, like, one of the reasons why Activision kind of, you know, have shitty time management. But, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. But yeah, I can't wait for the upcoming releases. But yeah, I've said quite a lot now. Well, I've had a lot to say, but in a way, it was appropriate considering this is like a celebratory part, since now this is officially the end of Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back in the AAA Remastered Trilogy for this Let's Play as a whole. Especially considering there's no DLC levels to come back to, so, well, for Crash 2 at the very least. But yeah. Anyways, without any further commentary from this point, it's time to go back to the main menu as we say goodbye to Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back within this AAA Remastered Trilogy. And yeah, the fireworks have gone. But yeah, anyways, time to leave Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back as we move on to Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped in part 25 of Let's Play Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy for the PlayStation 4. It took a whole 15 parts to record Crash Bandicoot 2 within this AAA Remastered Trilogy. And yeah, I figured that I would do, you know, each part per warp room for the sake of consistency in Crash 2, since their level structure and completion structure is actually straightforward, so it makes sense that way. So yeah, and also fun fact, this whole Coco Bandicoot playthrough in Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back, these 5 parts were recorded all in one day. So yeah, I decided to do another one of those binge recording sessions just like I did for the first 5 parts for the Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back section in Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy. And I hope to do the same for Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped if possible, but I'm not entirely sure whether it happens. I tried to do it for the time trials in Crash 2, but when it got to the second warp room, that plan went south, especially due to the piss takes that I had to face. But now, in a way, things seem to be different, but of course, we can't predict the future for sure, but we'll see what happens. The future is a mysterious thing, after all. Anyways, that officially puts an end to this part. I really hope you enjoyed this whole Coco Bandicoot playthrough, and just like Crash Bandicoot 1 for the Coco Bandicoot playthrough, I plan to do the same as I did for Crash 1 in Crash 2, where I showcase Coco Bandicoot collecting like all of the collectibles in the game. So in Crash 1 I showcased all the gem collections, whereas now in Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back I plan to compose another montage of Coco collecting all the crystals, gems, and relics, considering she has animations for all three of them, whereas in Crash 1 she only had a gem collection animation. So yeah, this montage for Crash 2 to end off the Coco Bandicoot playthrough would effectively take a lot more work, especially more grinding, but you know, for actual recording, think fuck, more grinding in Crash 2 isn't required. Because now Crash 2 is finally behind me, it's time to move on to bigger and better things. We can no longer look back to the past, it's time to look into the future. As we start off with the third game, which is Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped in Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy. I really hope you lot enjoyed this video. Feel free and be sure to subscribe, like or rate, however you want to put it. Drop a comment below to leave constructive feedback if you possibly can, and or share around with your friends and family, whoever they may be. And without any further commentary from this point, I hope you enjoy the potential compilation that I might have in store, but we'll see. So see you lot in part 25, where I start off with the third game in the entire AAA remastered trilogy, which is Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, or perhaps another video for another project for this channel, whenever it may happen. Laters everyone, peace out.